Well, I'm being joined at this point by Ashwani Kumar, the former Law Minister. Thank you very much, sir. Good evening. Huge contention. You've been the Law Minister. What do you see? In fact, we are being told that the governor made the decision of what he did after he took legal advice from the ASG.
Well, you've summarized the constitutional position and the jurisprudence of the Supreme Court on the question quite well. But let me take you beyond what you've stated. Let me take you to the fundamentals of constitutional morality and parliamentary democracy, which must circumscribe and define the manner in which the governor would exercise his constitutional remit to invite a leader to form the government.
Right.
The governor's foremost duty and constitutional obligation is to ensure that the popular will of the people, as elicited in the polls, is reflected in government formation, which is tested normally through the legislative majorities. Now, in an extraordinary situation, as prevails in Tamil Nadu today, you have on the one side a deafening affirmation of support by the electorate in favor of Vijay. You have on the other side a situation where he lacks just 6 members' support to be in absolute majority. In these circumstances, the only course, the only ethically right and constitutionally correct course for the governor is to invite Vijay to form the government and ask him to demonstrate his majority on the floor of the House. And I say so particularly because it is a given that under the present circumstances and given the arithmetics of the new Vidhan Sabha, nobody other than Vijay can hope to garner majority or form government. And obviously, the people's mandate has to be respected. So the governor's prerogative and his discretion in the manner of inviting a leader to form the government is not unfettered. It is circumscribed by the conventions of parliamentary democracy. It is circumscribed by the political and constitutional conscience in a constitutional democracy. And therefore, I would say that any stratagem to delay the swearing in of Vijay after such a popular and decisive mandate would be nothing less than a constitutional heresy and a political outrage. You are not going to create a situation, no governor can create a situation where the mandate of the people is negated through technicalities. And the law is clear that in a situation as prevails in Tamil Nadu today, the leader of the single largest party with the maximum support who can be presumed to form a stable government must be invited in the first instance to form the government and prove his majority on the floor of the House. The matter is as simple as that. And of course, on a larger political question, let me tell you that by tomorrow, you will see that the 6-member support will be forthcoming. There is nobody in the assembly today wants to go back to the people. Neither can you say that because there's ambiguity about 6 people here or there, or 3 people here or there, you will force the people of Tamil Nadu to go to polls again. So the doctrine of necessity, which is a recognized principle in constitutional law, also recognizes that the governor in this situation must invite the leader of the largest political party to form government.
So when what's emerging, at least from that meeting between Vijay and the, Governor Arlekar, if Governor Arlekar is saying there have been umpteen cases of censures by Supreme Court where governor has used his discretion in this manner of why a stable government was not formed, how does one then interpret that argument?
Who but Vijay can form a stable government in Tamil Nadu? Nobody else can. The person who is barely 6 short of a majority cannot be accused of horse trading. In fact, there is no possibility of horse trading given the arithmetics and given the political compulsions of the other formations. Therefore, the only person in this arithmetics of the Tamil Nadu Vidhan Sabha, Vijay is the obvious choice and probably the only correct choice to make. And in fact, if this does not happen,
Right.
I can tell you the Supreme Court will certainly censor the government by for not doing what was the obvious thing to do.
Well, we don't have confirmation on that, but I believe there are reports of the possibility of Vijay actually moving the Supreme Court on this, but that we'll have to wait and see how that works out. But, here's the question that I also want to ask you, Mr. Ashwani Kumar. You have the Narasimha Rao's case, and I was reading about that, about how it was a minority government. It was not even a government, it was quite short of the numbers, but it survived the confidence motion still and went on to actually form a completely stable government, completed a full 5-year. It had 244 seats, short of a majority in Lok Sabha, and still went on to, and the governor had invited them. So this is quite contrary to even Vijay's case. It's even worse than Vijay's case, if I can use that word. But nonetheless, the invite was given. Is this a problem that the discretion can be used and interpreted according to convenience?
Well, that's the bane of the unethical exercise of constitutional power, or the improper exercise of constitutional power. All power is capable of being abused, but you start with the presumption that it would not be abused, and certainly not constitutional power. Constitutional power of this kind is in the nature of a sovereign exercise, the nature of a sovereign exercise of function, which is always presumed or intended to be exercised in good faith and for the purposes of the Constitution. The main purpose of the Constitution is to ensure that the democratic mandate of the people prevails. And therefore, in my respectful submission, the governor is duty-bound to recognize the spirit of the popular mandate. And nobody in his right mind can possibly argue that the spirit of the Tamil Nadu mandate is anything other than having Vijay as the next chief minister. That in itself should be enough for the governor to invite Vijay for the floor test in the Vidhan Sabha.
So, in your experience, what are we looking at over the next, say, 24-48 hours?
He will get the majority support and form the government. He will not have to go to the Supreme Court by a long shot.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. In fact, it's also interesting, and I should have asked you about this as well. Maybe I'll just ask you about it. And this is very evident, the court many times saying that mere suspicion of an instability cannot be the grounds where you do not call upon the leading candidate for the post of the chief minister. How important and relevant is that? And if the Supreme Court has been so clear about it, then why not follow it?
You see, here it will be the reverse. If, for any reason, the governor delays the formation of government by Vijay, it would be a direct negation of the spirit in which the Supreme Court made that observation. Here, there is not only a question of mere suspicion. Here, it is a certainty that nobody other than Vijay can provide stable government.
Right.
If a person with 117 people can't provide a stable government, or 112 people can't provide a stable government, how can people with 67, 58, 3, 2, 1 or 2 can give stable government?
Ashwani Kumar, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.